Storms erupt that cause damage to companies operating right here in Australia. Our next guest says they are avoidable. Anthony Caruana is CEO and co-founder of Media-Wize, and he joins us in the studio now to tell us more. Welcome to you. How are you this afternoon?
Very well, Adrian. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. This year in the pandemic than ever for brands to take care of themselves.
Look, business is hard. It is really hard this year. I go from everywhere from my local cafe to large multinationals where people are being laid off. We saw today Qantas laid off another 2,000 people. All of those things. It's a really tough business environment. And you've got to ask yourself the question, what's the worst that could happen? If I make this decision, what could be the outcome of this decision if it doesn't go the way I want it? And the answer is, maybe we don't do that now. Yep. We go back and think about it, or we actually go out to stakeholders and ask them questions. The really big one, I think, was the most recent one with Australia Post and the Cartier watches.
Yes.
And it was really interesting because there's two quirks to that, I think. One is timing, because the actual incident didn't happen now. It's something that happened a while ago.
Right.
But I think the timing of it at the time when the country's facing a lot of austerity around COVID, job losses, people have lost jobs and salaries, and then all of a sudden someone's getting a $10,000 watch as a bonus for something, just doesn't really stick well. And then obviously the response about we're a business, not a government agent, not the government, and they really are. They're a business that's totally owned by the government. So there's a lot of things that weren't quite perhaps thought through as well as they ought to have by the executives of that organisation.
So if it had happened at a different time, it might have been a little bit easier
maybe,
to fathom.
I think people would have. And I think people might have, if they'd given all those executives a $50,000 bonus instead of a $10,000 watch,
yeah,
I think people would have reacted to it in a different way as well. So I think it was the whole showiness of the watch as a gift as well.
Right, and yeah, I think Ozpost, as you mentioned, it's just, people probably just think that's not something Ozpost should be doing, in a way. It can depend on the business, I think, right?
Absolutely, and the interesting thing is that because that whole thing came from the deal that Ozpost did with the banks to bring banking into post offices, right. And post office owners and franchisees loved the deal because it brought them back into relevance from, who posts a letter today?
Yeah.
So it brought them back into relevance, but at the same time, it's a bad look when you start giving people, fancy jeweled watches worth $10,000 or more.